YouTube, it's your boy Mad Max. Today, just talking a little bit more about the war in Ukraine. Obviously, we're all watching the news, seeing what's happening, all the civilians being killed, all the deaths on the Ukrainian side, and the shocking number of deaths on the Russian side. And clearly, the war, which is about to reach the 2 week mark, has been an utter disaster for Putin. And the more he's put up against the corner, the more I think this might get worse before it gets better. Excuse the cliche. But I genuinely think that despite all the losses on the Russian side, the Russians are going to continue to shell cities, continue to kill civilians, continue to use cluster bombs. And what's even sadder is seeing civilians trying to evacuate and the Russians firing on civilians, killing them. We saw that over the weekend in Mariupol. Really, really sad. Obviously, the refugee crisis is going to get even larger. More people are leaving Ukraine. And even if Putin captures the major cities, so far there's only been success in the south of the country, still hasn't taken Kyiv. So we'll see how this continues to play out. Another fear that I have is that because Putin cannot lose this war, that this war will just continue to drag on to the point that even with all this media attention now, it might slowly go down to nothing. We might move on while Ukrainians might still be in this mess. However, the sanctions on Russia are becoming very punitive. And although there is still very much support for the war, there's a good chunk of Russians that are completely against it. As Russia's economy is punished and sanctioned even more, obviously things will get economically worse than they are now. And in many parts of Russia, the economic prospects prior to the war were not very good. So we'll have to see how the sanctions play out. We'll have to see whether Biden goes through with banning oil from Russia. Russia is still the second largest exporter of oil. We'll have to see how this plays out. We'll have to see what's going to happen to the world economy, what's going to happen to Russia's economy, where Europe is going to rely on their oil now. All of these things come into play. In the US, back in Europe, gas prices are soaring very rapidly. One of the fastest increases in recent memory. This isn't to undermine the pain and suffering that the Ukrainian people are experiencing right now. However, clearly their spirit, their motivation is much higher than the Russians. And so far, it's given them what seems like an advantage. Granted, Russia has more military equipment, more men to lose, and it seems like Putin has no quit. That for the foreseeable future, this war is going to continue. More shelling, more schools are going to be bombed, more hospitals are going to be bombed, more civilians are going to be killed, which is the sad reality of any war. That being said, Putin and Russia overestimated their capabilities and underestimated the morale of Ukrainians. The Russians also overestimated how motivated their own military was and how much support they have back in Russia itself. So right now, we really just have to see what's going to happen. We're on day 13 of the war as I speak to you today, and we'll have to see what happens. A lot of things are in flux. We really don't know what's going to happen tomorrow even or the next day. For the time being, it seems like the Russians are stalled up north in Ukraine, and down south they are making some gains, even taking the country's largest nuclear power plant. So for the time being, I'm going to continue to make these videos. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy Max, over and out.